Jax and the Ziggs, always an important ban, I think, against Millennium. We've seen time and time again how strong Kerp is on Ziggs overall. Braum, as you said, also going to be banned away with Kassadin. That leaves the likes of Nidalee possibly open here for Fnatic, as we see there Kale will be the final ban.
So they did go exactly for just, we don't want to deal with any of these very, very strong picks here. It does mean, however, they're actually leaving up Lee Sin for Cyanide, a jungler he always loved to play here. And a jungler where he can put so much early pressure, and we know he loves to gank early on. He doesn't want to focus too much on farming, and he also loves to ward. Lee Sin, perfect match for Cyanide here. And the thing about the Ziggs ban against Kerp, it's the only champion he's been playing consistent on, so therefore they take it away.
And knock Millennium off the game, knock Kerp off his game seems to be a plan that works against Millennium, that's for sure. But they did leave LeBlanc open. That's a champion that Kerp has shown that he can play very well. They also take Twitch here for Creaton after the Lucian ban.
So already focusing a lot on getting picks here before the teamfights even start. We have Twitch sneaking around, finding a target, and of course Kerp on LeBlanc just looking to explode someone. We need to see if he's going to do the golden blue thing and go DFG first, if he gets a good start and try and simply snowball the lead, or is he going to go for the more standard Fiends into Death Cap, into Avoid Staff and be stronger in longer team fights.
Well, we'll find that out as things go along. What a Fnatic going to lock in here. Already got Lee Sin for the jungle. Looks like they want to secure their bottom lane. They're going to take Corki and Morgana.
So Corki and Morgana here. So with the Lucian ban again, they focus on what other strong laning AD carries do we have. Corki, he was the one who's coming up here. Rekkles actually played quite a lot of Corki in the past, picking it up here, and of course with Morgana to help out against the likes of Kerp if he wants to just instantly blow him up, put in the Black Shield there, try and save Rekkles and at least let him jump away in case Kerp comes in very aggressive towards him.
So for Millennium then, we talked about the junglers in our featured matchup, and there is Kottenx on your screen. Is he going to be taking Elise for this one? As we mentioned, not really, well, no bans aimed towards the junglers, so they get pretty much free reign on that one. Already got Lee Sin for Cyanide. Looks like we may see Kevin moving to Aatrox in this top lane as well.
So sOAZ actually played Aatrox yesterday against Gambit. Could be the reason Millennium want to take it away from him now, saving actually their jungle pick for the last one here, and then locking in Leona with the Aatrox, simply to say, you know what, we also want some engage now, we want to be able to catch you out of position. Leona is perfect for it. However, against Morgana, can be a little bit of a tricky thing to engage, at least in team fights. Laning phase, we always talk about how the Black Shield is very strong to stop Leona, but there's room for outplay from the side of Leona. You can go in, bait the Black Shield, and then just change target, lock the second target down, and go for the kill onto him.
So, final round of picks for Fnatic. Bottom lane and jungler already sorted. What are they going to take for Peke in this middle lane against Kerp's LeBlanc? What will sOAZ be running here on the top side of the map against
Shyvana could be the standard. Shyvana could be the standard safe top lane pick here. It's always a champion we talk about where she's never a champion to just win the lane by herself, but she always does well. And then when you go into team fights, she's always a very, very strong pick, and you have multiple options for how you want to build her and how you want to play her.
Well, Syndra as well was locked in here from Peke. We talked about it already, that Kerp ran the Syndra against LeBlanc yesterday. Now we're going to get to see how strong Peke's Syndra is going to be.
And we heard Overpower in the interview after the game yesterday saying, yeah, against Syndra, I can't really go for any kills in the lane. I have to play very passive because, again, Syndra works really well against LeBlanc because you can stop her W if you stun her with the ball, and also your Q is longer range than the LeBlanc Q. Therefore, you can poke her from distance and stay very safe. So it's a hard lane for LeBlanc, and I want to see how Kerp decides to play it.
So final pick was for the jungle as well there for Millennium and for Kottenx, who will take Evelyn. Definitely one of his big favorites in there.
So much focus on catching out targets here and finding these one-on-one, two-on-two fights. I mean, even Aatrox goes into one of those champions who really want to just one-on-one you, maybe even 1v2 you if he gets far enough ahead. So overall, Millennium really looking for the picks here. We're on the side of Fnatic. They have more of a standard. I would even also say they have somewhat of a pick comp here, but they also want to go more for teamfight-wise. With Shyvana, you have the Corki. Of course, Morgana to peel away. And Morgana works well with Syndra in the case if you land the binding. All of a sudden you have a pick comp because Syndra will just blow up a target.
Going to be a very interesting one. And now that the lineups are locked in, which jungler do you guys think is going to come out ahead? Tell us by tweeting hashtag Cyanide or hashtag Kottenx to @LOLEsports, and we'll see in a little while who you guys picked for that one. And our featured matchup of the day, and very important roles, but different roles that these two guys play.
Yeah, again, we keep talking about how Cyanide, he's much of a team player. He really wants to help out his lanes. He buys a lot of wards and put a lot of focus on making sure everyone is safe. Where, of course, Kottenx, when he's playing Evelyn as well, he doesn't necessarily have to gank too much. He can even farm, go towards the late game point of Evelyn, where you can build a bit tanky and be very strong in team fights and also, again, catching out targets, which is the whole idea here for Millennium.
And we have to, again, look back to the middle lane in this. Peke versus Kerp could very well be a featured matchup because we've said it time and time again. Kerp can carry, but Kerp also has these games where he's almost non-existent. Remember back to the 0-5 Fizz game, for example. Syndra yesterday didn't work out for him. This matchup here with Peke, who traditionally does well on the big stage, very interested to see how it goes.
Millennium definitely have the option to set up ganks towards the mid lane. That's one of the strong things about LeBlanc, is you can always jump forward with your W, use your E to chain, attach it onto the target here, lock it down, and your jungler comes in, and it's very easy to set up ganks, especially against the Syndra, where you need to flash. Once it's on cooldown, you won't escape the chain here. So if Kottenx puts a lot of focus on the mid lane, they might be able to get Kerp ahead, and then he can start snowballing and really shutting down the Syndra, and then move on to all the other lanes. And we've seen it time and time again with Kerp. Once he gets going early on, the entire team simply wakes up and like, okay, let's make plays, let's make plays. Jree can join in. We have on Leona here, set up some plays. Up in the top lane, Kevin as well on Aatrox, one of the best champions at diving. What are you going to do? You just move Evelyn, or you move your mid lane on LeBlanc up to this top lane, you just dive onto sOAZ and kill him on the tower.
So the other thing, you mentioned it a little bit earlier on, the RNA and now the coach of Fnatic, former jungle player for Millennium. He's obviously going to know how Millennium play. How much of a role is he going to play coming into this match?
I think a huge part, because he knows everything about these guys. He knows how they act if they fall behind. He knows how their idea is. I mean, every player has their own kind of mindset in the game. Some top laners can be like, hey, jungler, come top all the time. We can just gank him and dive over and over and over again. Kevin is not the type to do it, but some people would be. And he would be able to say to Fnatic, watch out here. They want to send the jungler top over and over again. They love to do this because you know the players here. So obviously, it's going to be a huge impact. And also, some players tend to go into a pattern of doing the same things because they've done it for such a long time. Especially comes down to where they place the wards or how they juke. Do they either juke, to the right or to the left when they want to dodge a skill shot? Some players just get into the same routine where they do it over and over. And because he's played on team with them, maybe he's talked with the players about it, he will know. We'll be able to inform Fnatic about all these small details.
And just a quick update on the game. We've not forgotten it, don't worry. Jree had a couple of issues there, so they just had to remake picks and bans. We will be getting into the match here in about 30 seconds time. So don't forget, you can still tweet to us, hashtag Cyanide or hashtag Kottenx to @LOLEsports, and let us know which jungler you think is going to come out ahead in this game. Let's talk about the AD carries here, because Creaton had the Lucian banned out against him, got his hands on Twitch. Talk to me about that lane matchup, the Twitch versus Corki.
Well, so obviously, first of all, Corki's very, very strong in the lane, where Twitch is not so strong. He needs some time to build up. He needs the Blade of the Ruin King before he can really start to duel people. So definitely in favor of Rekkles. And also looking at supports. I mean, you have Morgana against Leona. Morgana, very, very strong. As long as you time the Black Shield correctly, Leona won't be able to engage onto you. So Millennium side here could definitely look for a lane swap to get away from this duel lane early. Or if they do get into 2v2, they might need some jungle help, which could mean that Kerp won't get it in the mid lane. So it could be issues for them. But still, we need to see how they want to play it. Definitely think the bottom lane is in favor of Fnatic though in a straight up 2v2.
And Millennium, we said it yesterday, very solidly a mid-table team right now. They've done well against certain teams and then lost to them straight away after. They've been destroyed by some teams and then been able to beat them the next time they meet them.
I mean, Rocket has won the last 4 games and they're under them in the standings here. So Millennium, they need to win this one, otherwise Rocket might go above them.
Very important game for both sides of the coin in this one. But we are going to get into game. It's Fnatic versus Millennium for our 3rd LCS game of the day here in London. Let's see how this one is all going to go down and whether we'll see anything interesting at level 1. Millennium, we know them as a team that did stuff at level 1 before it was cool.
He used to always go in and get some deep wards before the triggers were reduced down to 30 seconds. I don't actually think they're doing too much special now. They didn't actually go further with the tactic, just keeping it fairly simple like most teams do. For now though, it's Fnatic moving in with 4 members to actually get a deep ward. Kerp will spot them out. And we see Kerp starting with Flask. He's doing the exact same thing Overpower did yesterday against him. Yes, you're going to be very squishy, but you have to sustain. So even if you take some poke from the Syndra, you can stay in lane and farm.
Look at this Millennium moving around to the Fnatic red buff. Fnatic themselves already on the top side of Millennium's junglers. Peke and Kerp
1-0 Kerp.
First exchange of the game and going nicely there for Kerp. What we're going to see, Peke actually going to recall, get himself all healthy, as his Kerp, regen that mana, and then just come straight back into lane. Fnatic have completely recalled out of the Millennium jungle as well. And we can see that Creaton and Jree already headed to lane. So looks like we're going to have a very standard start, and that is a big vote for Cyanide, 93%.
Fnatic is actually doing a different thing this game here with the early wards. We can't really see it because Aatrox is actually standing on the ward on the minimap, but they put it between the two, the first tower of course, the first top tower and the second top tower. So instead of it being in vision or in range of the towers to actually spot the ward, Millennium won't know it's there. So they're basically trying to see if they can spot Creaton and Jree moving from the base to the lane. We see the ward right here, minions just walk past it. Millennium doesn't know it's there. However, because they're down this bottom lane, because they didn't walk past the ward, Fnatic expects them to actually be in this bottom lane, and they're up in the top lane here, so they're not going to get the lane swap.
Now pushing Rekkles into that top side. Morgana going to be moving across the map to get in range there as well. YellOwStaR did start off on that bottom side, so it's going to leave Corki Morgana versus Aatrox on the top side of the map, and Twitch Leona versus, well, Shyvana, when he actually goes down there right now, using the buddy system, hanging around with his jungler to get a bit of XP.
Always one of the great things about Shyvana is you're so good at clearing the jungle, even in the early levels. That's why she's one of the best top laners now. Because again, you can just run with Cyanide, very easy for them to clear out the camps, move on to the next one. Kevin up in his top lane here is actually stuck by himself, got a few CS and now has to back away because YellOwStaR joined in together with Rekkles to force him away. So he's not farming with Kottenx at the moment, and therefore falling slightly behind compared to sOAZ, but you can of course turn around and say Kottenx is getting slightly ahead compared to Cyanide.
There is Fnatic moving now, jungler and top laner towards their blue buff. Already got the red buff, that's where they started, and look at this. Kevin actually now moving down towards the bottom side of the map, possibly going to join his own jungler and go for what we expected here and get some XP. Himself some levels, but Fnatic already pushing quite heavily onto this outer turret.
And of course, as we pretty much see most games when we have lane swaps, it's gonna be this 2 versus 0, where you just build up the wave, you push it into the tower, or you decide to freeze it, get some damage on the tower here. And because Fnatic has the dual lane in the top side, it means Millennium can just go and start the dragon. Shouldn't even expect Fnatic to be nearby at this point. They can still see YellOwStaR up in his top lane with Rekkles. Therefore, the first dragon of the game should go to Millennium. And it's always the thing you sacrifice, which generally means if you have the stronger dual lane, like Fnatic does in this case, you should never swap it top because you give away the dragon for no reason. I simply think they were expecting Millennium to be top lane with their dual lane, and that's why they swapped up there. Otherwise, it made no sense.
Well, we are going to see this dragon going down. That top turret still hanging on there by a thread, and actually looks like Rekkles and YellOwStaR possibly going to just recall from this one, and sOAZ, is he going to head towards his top lane? Very interested to see about that, but basically a 4-minute dragon being picked up by Millennium. Nice little start for them, gives them a 600 gold lead. If you look down some of those early CS totals, pretty much even across the board. Only sOAZ really got a lead over his counterpart there, as obviously he's spent more time in the jungle with Cyanide.
And then Kottenx, of course, been farming pretty well, first by himself, then joined in by Kevin afterwards, where you see Fnatic sharing actually the minions between sOAZ and Cyanide. And again, it's the thing we talk about with carry jungler and team player. Cyanide doesn't mind giving some farm over to sOAZ, where Kottenx is pretty much taking everything by himself, and Kevin can just stand beside him and get some XP.
So first stuns of the game coming down from xPeke onto Kerp. Kerp got a slight lead on him in terms of XP there, and actually trying to put some harassment down onto him as well in the early stages of this lane. And down in the bottom, YellOwStaR joined by sOAZ now up against Creaton and Jree. The entire time Rekkles has just spent pretty much alone, not anymore as he's got Cyanide up there, but are they going to try and go for a bit of action onto Kevin's Aatrox.
So Rekkles, he's been freezing the lane up here in this top side. That's why Kevin is going up, because he wants to try and push it out, get it to reset so he can actually pick up some farm. Therefore, it's very smart SandOffs actually staying around in case Kevin just walks straight up to the minions. Now he's going to face check him.
Oh, goes to put the ward down there, but quick jump away from Kevin. Lost about half of his health from that one, so could have been a little bit more dangerous, but with the jump and, of course, with the flash available to him as well, not too bad.
And there are two people down this bottom lane for Fnatic, therefore sOAZ can actually pick up some farm, and also because Jree can't really engage onto him, unless of course there's no black shield, and therefore he turned it onto YellOwStaR.
Yeah, going in there, YellOwStaR already down to half, but can see sOAZ trying to return that damage and got both Jree and Creaton a little bit low as well, so bit of a scary moment there. Black shield coming in a little late, but no first blood picked up just yet. Millennium still holding on to that lead.
And we did actually see the outplay potential of Leona here against Morgana in lane. Jree engaged onto sOAZ as soon as the black shield was there. Just changed target because YellOwStaR was standing right next to him. Locked him down, got some damage onto him. But still, sOAZ picking up some farm. Kevin up in his top lane now actually. Managed to get to the wave, get some farm as well. So looking very good for him as well now.
And up to 18 CS, which is bringing him pretty much level with that of sOAZ. Rekkles continues to farm up a storm. About to hit the 60 CS point with this next wave. We see 2 wards instead of just 1 in that brush as the Zenith play comes out. A little bit wide of its target though. That would have been a lot of health, I think, from sOAZ that would have gone down. This mid lane remained fairly quiet. Both players just going in for the farm. It's xPeke that leads that right now.
Just want to push out the wave here, go back to base, and then once his blue buff spawns, he's gone back to shop, gets the blue buff, and can then really start to try and poke away onto Kerp. Both of them just been farming pretty well. I mean, we talk about the flash from Kerp, how he could now sustain himself, even if he took some poke and just focus on farming, and it's basically what we've been seeing in this mid lane. XPeke now got the first recall. Kerp now, of course, wants to just shove out the wave and do the same.
Now we see Kerp just going to throw all that down. So he's sat on 1,700 gold to spend on his first journey home. See, as you mentioned earlier, we saw Golden Glue in the North American Challenger final early on, straight into DFG, and that really set him up for the rest of the game. He was able to get some early kills. I think ended with about 12 by the end of that match, and we'll see if Kerp decides to go that DFG route as once again.
Could be a chalice though. Could be a chalice.
Inside, and actually he's going to land that Zenith blade. He's a little bit far away. Creaton not really joining in, and the damage going to come back, and here is Cyanide again. The Q though landing onto the minion, and look at that, spray and pray, or rat-tat-tat is actually called now, being used, and that's going to force YellOwStaR to back right off.
Yeah, a lot of damage in return here from Creaton. Very nice job, and we see Kerp in his mid lane. He went towards that fiend, so he wants to magic resist against xPeke here in the lane, and of course it also means teamfight wise he's gonna have more mana. He can basically do more damage in a longer fight, where with the DFG he's full on focus on just blowing up the first target, and that's pretty much his job.
Kottenx here, is he going to try and get in around the backside? May even be looking for a sneaky play on that blue buff. xPeke just going to knock Kerp back away. Kottenx will spot xPeke coming around to this one. He's going to try with the damage, actually using his ulti, but he needs to be careful. YellOwStaR binding, lands the binding as well. Ignite is down. Kottenx is going to die, and the first blood goes to xPeke.
There's actually Millennium trying to set up the pick onto xPeke once he moved towards the blue buff. Kerp even jumped in with his ulti, but just a beautiful binding by YellOwStaR. Absolute max range. Just their very last bit hit Kottenx.
Did flash, use the exhaust to get in there to secure that kill as well, but kill's a kill, and that's going to make xPeke a lot stronger. As Rekkles here, going in towards Kevin, one more auto attack, or the ultimate would have popped the blood well, and Kevin forced to flash away.
Forced to flash, and Rekkles has been farming by himself up here, one-on-one against Kevin for a long time actually. YellOwStaR was in the bottom lane, then he helped with the blue buff. Now seems he's just staying in his mid lane, pushing in with the minions here, and also making sure Kerp won't be able to jump and do anything. Oh, once again, denied. That's the thing, man, there's so much outplay potential as well in this matchup.
See how that one all develops, the double buff there for xPeke now as well. Cause a few problems for Kerp as we see them trying to get in onto sOAZ, but Giant Spell already picked up by sOAZ, so he's going to be feeling a lot more confident down on this bottom lane. Meanwhile, the top turret does finally get finished off there by the minions, and that will put Fnatic in the gold lead by 1,000. And look at this, Dragon just coming up. Fnatic got 3 men there already.
Rekkles is on his way from the base, but the rest of Millennium is actually already here. Kevin has the passive and teleport ready, so he can join in anytime, just pick up the farm. Meanwhile, Let's see if Millennium actually want to go straight for the team fight.
Are they going to fight this one out?
It's
We see the teleport coming in. There is a
Nice
fire. It locks up two of them as well. Ulti running from YellOwStaR, but Peke going to go down. Millennium ripping through Fnatic at this point. The rat-a-tat-tat from the side. sOAZ going low. Well, Fnatic just back away from things. They lost the one man. Dragon didn't go down though.
Such a great engage from Jree. Right on to xPeke here. We always talk about how Syndra is so immobile. You're not able to jump anywhere unless your flash is up. This time it wasn't cooldown, so just notice Jree landing onto the slow. Actually, it was just a slow, but then he connects onto him afterwards, stuns him. Here's the kill. Beautiful setup by Jree, and then Fnatic just have to back away from here. Did force a few flashes away from Millennium, but couldn't actually pick up the Dragon.
No Dragon taken yet, so we'll see if that becomes a bit more of a hot topic here shortly. They've got Kerp and Kevin both on that bottom lane, so definitely possible that they'll go in. We can see Twitch moving down, the other two players coming out of Millennium's base as well. So
sOAZ has no teleport yet, and he's up in his top lane here, so only 4 members from Fnatic actually moving towards the dead. Simply deciding to give it up here. Don't want to risk anything. There was still no flash on Syndra, and sOAZ instantly just went top lane without teleport ready.
Yeah, Peke actually trying to get something back from this one and is going to be able to finish off that outer turret there. Minion's going to come in as well. There's the stun once again. Is Kerp going to keep chasing on this? Does have his blue buff, so those cooldowns up for him, but didn't want to chase in there. A little bit scared, I think, of running let me try that one again. Face on into Syndra.
And Kerp actually flashed. He wanted to flash the stun here and just get the chain onto xPeke, but he got stunned at the exact same time he actually flashed, so it didn't work for him. Rest of Millennium were running right behind him, ready to actually kill Syndra if possible. Still Dragon from Millennium. They lose the mid tower, opens up the lane now for Fnatic. They can get a deep ward in the lane, spot Millennium moving around, and of course, as we always talk about, they can go further into the jungle, especially if they take down this bottom tower with top tower being gone and mid tower. Just go into the jungle, get some good wards, and try and set up some picks.
Yep, and they are going to take this tower as well. Jree not able to defend that one. Twitch coming in a little bit too late. Creaton not able to help out as the Q from Lee Sin, the binding from Morgana from the other side as well. Both of them actually missing out, but that leaves Fnatic with a healthy gold lead. 12 minutes 44 into the game. Tied up 1-1 in kills, but 3-0 in towers for Fnatic. If both of those Dragons didn't go Millennium's way, they'd be in a bit of a sorry position by now.
Yeah, it's funny enough, it's something we see very often here in Europe. Actually, one team takes all the towers, but another team just has full focus on Dragon and picks up Dragon after Dragon here. And the teams don't really manage to shut them down or stop them from doing it. I mean, just think back to Gambit. Picking up Dragons pretty much every game, multiple of them, and it's actually keeping them in the game.
Pink ward taken away from that Tribush. YellOwStaR, not sure how carefully really needs to be there with Kerp. Obviously that Athene start means he's not going to have masses of damage at this point, but certainly will do a lot to the support player. As the pink ward spotted straight out by Millennium, and that will be cleared away. YellOwStaR still waiting here for the possibility of maybe getting involved onto Kerp. A stun will be an easy binding for him then.
Up in this top lane here, Kevin going towards the blade as his first item. sOAZ on the other hand, as we see often from Shyvana, going towards some tankiness so he can be really strong in his team fights. And actually sending Rekkles back up here to one-on-one him, but the rest of Fnatic, or at least Cyanide and YellOwStaR, joining in.
All moving in, there's the ultimate out of Kottenx.
Oh, nice.
Max range again from YellOwStaR. They're going to dive on top of Kevin, who has his blood well popped. He's going to regen about a third of his life when he comes back up, but he's not going to be able to escape it. Or is he? Rekkles actually flashing away there, and Kevin's still alive at the back. sOAZ has flashed in to try and get him, but they've locked him up. Kerp's going to take down YellOwStaR for the double, and Kevin manages to live as well.
Wow, the bait from Kevin here. The binding landed onto him, and Fnatic just went all in. Kerp was running the entire time towards the top lane, got in there, instantly killed Cyanide, and then going to take down YellOwStaR as well. And Kevin, lucky man.
All calculated.
Very well played.
All calculated from him. Meanwhile, Creaton's like, well, okay then, I guess I'm not involved in this one. I'm just going to farm up and push this bottom lane out there. Obviously moving towards his Blade of the Ruin King. Other side, Rekkles does already have a Bloodthirster done and dusted, so good for him. Peke, meanwhile, will be getting another spawn on the blue.
So overall here, very even in gold. Millennium pulling ahead in the kills and the Dragons, but Fnatic controlling the map when it comes to towers. and already been putting a few wards a bit further inside the area of Millennium to see if they can spot anything out, but didn't spot out Kerp coming up in the last fight here, so he just came up behind him, instantly killed Cyanide, and from there on it was a lost fight for Fnatic. YellOwStaR, you've been landing some very good bindings. Didn't manage to get the blue, however.
Max range bindings. As you see, Creaton here going to go towards YellOwStaR, but
scrying up already.
Yeah,
both AD carries.
Both AD carries running that one and trying to get in there, but unfortunately for him, stealth running out before he could get right on top of YellOwStaR. See if he can pull any more of that off. Meanwhile, these top laners, both of them pretty tanky already. We see Chain Vest in there with a Vamp Scepter on top of that Giant's Belt from earlier for sOAZ. Other side, we also see a Cutlass and the Giant's Belt as well. And look at this, Fnatic trying to set something up in the bottom lane. Is anyone going to show themselves from Millennium?
Kottenx coming in as well. They do have the scrying up. They want to try and bait like Fnatic did back in Season 1 at DreamHack. Creaton moving in. Jree could be the target though.
Oh, there's a binding landing going straight to Jree, but again a brilliant solar play. They're turning this one around. Creaton going to get the first kill, and they're going to keep chasing on to Cyanide. There is one back. It's a 2-for-1 down in the bottom lane, and the trap from Fnatic not working as intended.
Perfect turnaround for Millennium here. Creaton was just staying in the back the entire time, feeling very safe because they went on to Jree. Not exactly the ideal target. You want to either get it on the red or just blow up Kottenx. xPeke though, going for Kerp.
Gonna throw everything out in there, the ultimate as well. Ignite burning away. And there we see it outplayed completely. xPeke getting his second kill of the game.
Fantastic Syndra play from him. Over and over again in this game, he's just stopping the jumps from Kerp, getting all the damage down, and finally actually managed to pick up a kill with it. Beautiful play.
All good for xPeke. Gonna raise his confidence levels moving forward in this, and Kerp, how good of a game is he going to have overall? Millennium pulling out some good plays so far. Saw Kevin with that escape in the top lane. xPeke going to spot Jree over the top of the wall and then loses his ward just as swiftly as he's put it down. There's the second one. That one will survive though.
We actually see xPeke here on Syndra building a bit more defensive compared to Kerp. In the start, he felt like he needed the tenacity from his boots because of the CC from Millennium, because he knew he was gonna be the target in the team fights, where Kerp, of course, just got full damage early on here. Fnatic starting up the Dragon, 4 members here. sOAZ is gonna join in. Millennium is around though, and I do have teleport.
Here we go, teleport gonna come in from Kevin. Can they get into them? Jree gonna throw his solar flare to the back of the Dragon pit, locks up Peke. Dragon is gonna reset here in just a second. In fact, Millennium keep pulling it out there of its pit. Fnatic still waiting up there on the top side. And Millennium looking for an opening in this one. It's the top laners that are still at the front. There's Kevin diving in a little bit deep. Does get stunned up, but I think he's gonna walk away.
Notice Kerp here on your minimap. He's trying to sneak around Fnatic to see if he can get in the backline and hit Syndra without the flash. Jree managed to force the flash before. No ulti on Leona though. Kevin needs to be the guy jumping in.
Spotted by a ward. There's a stun missing actually from Peke. They're going to dive straight towards him. A lot of damage onto Peke. Cyanide actually low. Jree is going to fall in this one as well, but look at Kerp pushing around the backside. His Ignite will finish off a kill, and that's a 2-for-1 for Millennium, and I'm not sure it's done just yet. Look at this, sOAZ running up the top side. Creaton though doesn't chase.
We need to see an Outlast on xPeke later in this game here. He's constantly the target for Millennium. Every single fight. You just see Jree and Kevin moving straight for him. Don't even care about the rest of the team. Just want to go straight for him. No flash, of course. Jumps in, gets the kill. And of course, Kerp was sneaking around the side here. Should be the Dragon. Unless YellOwStaR is...
Nope. Will be the Dragon for Millennium. 3 out of 3 so far. You're going to see it again. They've got one turret now though, so they closing in onto a 2,000 gold lead. Alright, so it is.
Mind games, it's mind games.
Mind games, okay. That's what they call it these days.
Trust me.
We'll see about that. We'll see when he actually realizes. Not sure if he had one earlier and then sold it by accident. I don't know what's going on that front, but we'll figure that one out as we go along. Cyanide himself just getting that red buff. Got Rekkles and Peke starting to move down this bottom side as well. If we look at the lanes, that bottom one is pretty much in the middle, although I think it's pushing up towards Creaton's side of the map from this. Jungler on the other side also doing the red buff, so bit of a time to farm now for both sides.
Yeah, Dragon of course is gone, so just taking a little bit easy here. No blue buffs up yet. I'm not sure actually if the teams have timers on the blue buffs from the other team and want to maybe try and go for an invade. This Fnatic one just spawned in Millennium is not exactly in a position to try and go for it, so clearly they didn't have it or didn't want to go and falsify the jungle of Fnatic here. Both teams just farming up. Kerp, of course, looking towards either his death cap or the void staff as the next item. And xPeke is going to get a death cap himself. Already had the blasting one from before. So he's going to do a lot of damage, but he's going to be a very easy target to lock down as well.
So Cyanide did in fact have a trinket at the start of the game, and he's just picked up a sweeping lens now, so he's aware of that.
Telling you, man, mind games.
Aware of that one. There's another binding landing from YellOwStaR, but no follow-up this time. There was no one really there to help him out, and as those blue buffs come in, see Creaton starting off the Millennium one, which will of course be given over towards Kerp, and Peke will be getting his pretty shortly as well. There's a pink ward cleared out. Are they going to go top? No.
Notice the pink wards from Millennium, actually. They put so many around this Baron pit in their side of the jungle because they know they want to have Kerp or Aatrox or even Evelyn or Twitch just sitting around, and pretty much say anyone from the team, sitting, just waiting around this Baron pit here, waiting for someone from Fnatic to go in and clear a ward, and then they can jump them. And as long as they have these pinks, they know there's no wards from Fnatic, and they can try and get a pick through simply better ward control.
Look at this, bringing Kevin to take out that ward. They got Kottenx gonna move in for this one as well. Are they gonna try and hunt down sOAZ? Was the ping to the ward, and sOAZ will go in there, take himself that pink ward, but will he be able to get away from it? There's the diving, Kottenx gonna be on top of him as well. sOAZ gonna be forced to use his ultimate. He's got no flash, but we'll let him decide not to keep chasing.
And actually, he didn't want to use the ult here, he just ran away. Kevin and Kottenx gave up on the chase here. There was no flash on Kevin, and once he actually landed slow here, just backed away.
YellOwStar's accuracy has been very, very good today, no doubt about that one. We are going to see them coming in. YellOwStaR being burst by Kerp. The stun from Peke actually missing, but has he got the damage to finish off? Solar Flare comes in. They're going to go towards Peke here. Well, they've not got the damage, or have they? Creaton coming in from the side. Cyanide going to go down.
Wow.
And even nearly got Peke on his way as well.
Great play by Creaton here, popping up himself, dodging the stun as well from Fnatic, and then he just kills them. Such a smart play and such a good play by Creaton. And set up by Kerp in the start, going towards YellOwStaR.
Kevin there going very, very deep. He's got Kottenx coming in as well. There's no flash for sOAZ still. And there is a Zenith played, and it breaks Jree against the wall. sOAZ is going to have to try and kill himself. Kerp is going to be moving through. Where's sOAZ going to go? Trying to recall it right in the middle of the lane. He's going to be spotted, or is he? Not quick enough. It was a TP used.
Well, so TP down at least. Millennium should know. Have the timer on it, or at least try and time it. Can just pick up a top tower. Didn't get the kill. Still got the top tower, and they already picked up a few kills in the mid lane, so they can't really complain.
Peke and Kerp again. Kerp actually diving into this one, and half health almost taken away. There's a death cap now on both of those mid laners.
So much damage from both of them if they can actually get a target. It's just so much easier for LeBlanc to jump in, pick whatever target you want, and just jump back again. Where Syndra, you basically go all in. I mean, you can't just go in and say, which target? No, I'm not sure. I'm just going to back out again. No, because the enemy team is going to be on you instantly and try to kill you. So harder for Peke to pick a target here. Kerp, you can see him just jump around all the time, poking away. Now, Creaton coming in stealth.
Oh, there we go. Dash forward, slow, actually missing from Creaton, and they're going to try and turn this one back around. Where's the stun out here from Peke? Already used it a few seconds ago. They had Kottenx moving in as well. Fnatic still need to be a little bit careful around this mid lane. Peke's got his flash back up, so a bit more safety for him, but the fact is, with two possible invisible threats there, you've always got to be really careful.
It's a scary thing because it requires you to have a lot of pink wards in right positions if you actually want to spot them come towards you. Especially the gang through the mid lane from Twitch is so hard to predict. Because again, if you put a pink ward in the middle of the lane, our team's just going to walk in and clear it, and therefore you won't be able to spot the Twitch coming unless you place him even further back in the lane and you can see him start his stealth once he actually comes into the mid lane. Fnatic though haven't been able to move so far into the area of Millennium for the last few minutes because Millennium actually been finding the right picks here, been getting the kills. Not team fights, but going straight just for picks the last few minutes. And now Dragon coming up in about 25 seconds, or actually 25 seconds by now. So Millennium could be looking for a team fight again. The last one, 2 for 1 for Millennium and the Dragon.
So that scrying off use this middle inner turret taking a bit of a beat in there. That was just cleared out by Kerp. Oh, we've got just over 10 seconds. YellOwStaR done a good job here of clearing out those wards. Millennium going to leave the Dragon and make a play on middle. They, of course, have had 100% of the Dragons so far, 3 out of 3. Can't see them giving it up. that's for sure.
No, definitely not. They can just stay around, try and clear some wards away from Fnatic and maybe find a target. I mean, even Cyanide at this point is very, very squishy. Kerp can blow him up instantly. Creaton will be able to do the exact same thing. So they'll pretty much only have sOAZ who can actually survive the burst from Millennium. And he's up in his top lane in his one-on-one with Kevin and looking to teleport in while the fight is actually happening already.
What are they going to do here? Kerp actually going aggressive onto YellOwStaR, misses the chain, but just jumps right back into position from where he came from. It's a good bit of damage done. May force YellOwStaR to back away and think twice about getting involved in this next fight. There's a binding going through. That's a big stun onto him, but no follow-up damage. No follow-up damage onto Kerp. And he continues to live. Tense moment here. 25 minutes, 50 seconds into the game. Dragon is live. There's a ward from Fnatic in the back of the pit, but Millennium has started off the Dragon.
Starting the Dragon here, 4 members moving in. sOAZ putting a lot of pressure to Kevin in his top lane here. Cyanide, got it!
Oh, he got it! He strikes again, the Steel Master! Is he going to go down? Someone heal comes in, Solar Flare at the back, and Cyanide comes up big again for Fnatic. Millennium wondering what's hit them. Here's a TP as well from sOAZ. Fnatic going to go for the tower.
So Kevin actually tried to teleport up in his top lane here, but sOAZ stopped him with his ulti and then TP'd himself down to join the team, taking the tower now. Cyanide, that was absolutely perfect. You got the Dragon, you got out as well, and now also the mid tower. And this was supposed to be Millennium's Dragon. I mean, 4 members around it, and yet he steals it. And he's done it so many times.
Yeah, he must be up there with, if not the biggest stealer in League of Legends history. Pulled off some monumental ones in the past. At least Fnatic just 100 or so gold behind that of Millennium at this point. Still 9-4 in kills. We still see Creaton's going to be a massive threat. 3-0-3 for him. Got himself that static ship on top of his Blade of the Rune King and a Last Whisper in there now.
And that's the thing about both squishy. Actually, let's just see once again. Cyanide going in, gets the steal and gets out of the wall. I think he needs to heal from Rekkles actually to survive. Teleport, you see it coming in from Kevin here, but because sOAZ stops him up in the top lane, he will never be able to join the fight, and sOAZ can then join in himself, force Millennium away. Even, not the wrong way around, but pretty much the only way they could actually do it towards the base, therefore Fnatic would take the mid tower.
And Kottenx left. Little red face, I think, after that one. Smite still available for him. Cyanide coming out on top of that little battle. So let's have a look down some more items. Trinity Force was collected by Rekkles. And YellOwStaR now in the back of the pit. Needs to be real careful here. Kerp sniffing around for a chance to pick up his 4th kill. They've got Kottenx there. Creaton's just off to the side as well. YellOwStaR wisely, I think, backing off into his own jungle.
Don't want to take a chance, don't want to be caught out. Going for xPeke!
Solar Flare coming in onto him, but xPeke just flashes away, flashes completely out of the danger zone. The Cyanide taking a lot of damage. Jree also falling low from that one, and no kills out of all that.
But this is the Millennium we actually like to see, but they're very, very aggressive. Yesterday against Rocket, they just stayed back, they waited for Rocket to make the moves, and then they tried to react to it and counter it. This time around, it's just Millennium going down. Oh, are you standing at the tower? We're just going to engage some time. Get a kill onto you, and Kerp is playing so aggressive on LeBlanc as well.
See Kevin moving down. They want this tower to be their 3rd of the game, and got them a good chunk of gold ahead. 1,000 gold, which is not really that much when we're almost 30 minutes into this game. And look at it, Millennium moving now possibly down towards that bottom side. Peke though coming around the side. There's Kerp diving in. Ultimate being used by Peke. Not quite enough damage to finish. Oh, nice. sOAZ from the side. And this is going to be bad news for Millennium. First kill coming down. Kevin's still having a good go. Kerp actually is very low as well. Half HP for him as the Bloodwell gets popped. Rekkles completely untouched on this top side is real bad news for him. He's actually Valkyrie in. It may have gone a little bit too deep. Or is he just going to mop up the kill? Get 2. Can he find any more? Scrying all views that gives the vision of Creaton, but he's away to his tower.
And everything here was set up by sOAZ. What an ulti into Millennium. He hit multiple members, and Rekkles just came in from the side here where there actually was a pink ward from Fnatic. Just stood there and just kept shooting from the side with all this area damage on Corki here. We keep talking about how the mid-game point of Corki is so strong. I mean, this is the time where he really shines. He has the Bloodthirster, he has the Trinity Force, just doing so much damage to everyone here in this team fight. Great counter engage from sOAZ. Such a good TP first, and then he just jumps in. Did he even TP? No, he didn't actually TP, he just ran up.
He just ran up, was in that bottom lane.
Yeah.
Just did a loop around by the back of that Dragon Pit, and perfect ultimate right into the middle of the team. So, the gold has swung once again. Only 200 or so, 300-ish, is the lead for Millennium. We've got just under 2 minutes until this next dragon comes in. Last one stolen away by Cyanide. Should have probably been a Millennium dragon, fourth of the game, but not how it works for them, unfortunately, and they'll be a little bit more cautious about it this time.
And while we talked about the Hourglass earlier, could be built on Syndra to make xPeke survive the fights, we have to say the same thing about Millennium here. While they have a lot of damage on the two carries, Twitch and LeBlanc, they are both very, very squishy, and if a binding lands onto one of them, or if Cyanide can kick one of them into the team, they will die instantly. I mean, we saw just before, Kerp jumped forward towards xPeke here. He just used his ult in his face and took about 60% damage or 60% HP away from Kerp instantly. It's just 1 or 2 hits from Rekkles and Kerp is dead at the point. So both teams playing with very squishy carries here, and both teams with so much damage. There's some very scary team fights.
Fnatic all up in Millennium's jungle at this point, getting some real deep wards in there in preparation for this dragon coming up. And look at this, Rekkles, Cyanide and YellOwStaR now gonna set themselves a bit of a trap. Bit of deja vu from before. We'll have to see. That ward at the Wolf camp will spot Kottenx, but he's already sped on out of that one. But Millennium need to be careful in that side of the jungle.
Fnatic is actually pinging the Baron at the moment, saying we are so many members on this bottom side of the map here. If Millennium has a ward on us or they know we're around here, they could be starting over Baron. However, sOAZ, of course, just going in, checking, making sure nothing's going on. Goes back up to this top lane here and there. Vision now. Once again, Kerp denied though. But they want to fight.
Yeah, but Peke is not going to get away from this when he did get the kill onto Kerp before he went down. And there we just see the potential out of both of these players. The fact that they are super squishy, but masses and masses of burst damage.
Yeah, we see the same idea again from Millennium. They stealth up here, of course, with Evelyn, with the Twitch, and then Kerp, he can just double jump with his ulti, get in range of Syndra, try and get the kill here, but this time, xPeke just turned it around and traded 1 for 1. So beautiful play. Dragon is alive. Both mid laners are dead for still over 20 seconds at least for xPeke.
Are we going to see, that 4 versus 4 here for Dragon. Kevin actually coming down, YellOwStaR. He's going to be running in the middle of them, but Jree's been focused. Kevin dives right into the middle. That'll be a 1 for 1 for now, but Kevin will get locked up by the ultimate. Cyanide down at half HP, dashes off to the ward, and that will be another 1 for 1 trade. However, I don't think it's over because the mid laners have just spawned back in, or Peke will be up in a couple of seconds. That Dragon's still alive.
Cyanide, he has a flash, staying around for now. No, he's actually going to back away here. Millennium traded the support for the AD carry. Rekkles, he was caught in the middle of the whole fight. Kevin just jumped instantly to him, knocked him up here, and therefore with all the AoE from Creaton as well, they could kill him. Jree, I believe, was also on Rekkles here, knocked him down. So multiple members focusing him, and he went down. So trading 1 for 1. However, Dragon again for Millennium.
Another Dragon leaves them close to 2k in the lead. We'll see how that helps them in these next encounters. We've gone past the halfway point. Maybe the halfway point. The half an hour point at least is where we're at. And again, those items pouring in. We see a couple of Randuins. In fact, both top laners, both junglers, got their Randuin's Omens done right now.
It seems actually we're gonna get a Banshee's Veil on maybe both mid laners at the moment, which would be very, very smart because again, both of them are all about their upfront burst they can do. So the Banshee's gonna block some of it. Also gonna give them the needed matching resist to try and survive some of the fights here. Still, Creaton is gonna be an issue, and also Rekkles when it comes to just straight out damage on these mid laners.
See Peke getting the ball off to the side of Kerp, playing a little bit dangerously there, but look at this, Kevin gonna be a target for Fnatic. sOAZ and Cyanide there, but as I said before, Kevin is pretty damn tanky already at this point. And there we see him just kind of jump away. Randuin slow was used by sOAZ, but Kevin not in any danger there.
Jumps away, flash of course still ready. Creaton once again stealthing up in this mid lane, looking for a target.
Peke actually going off to the side there, and they may be able to catch YellOwStaR. Now Creaton is going to show himself. Binding comes through, but doesn't have the range and right direction to actually land onto anyone. Now Fnatic are actually pulling everyone down towards this mid lane, so we could see a big head-to-head fight here shortly. So clearing out those wards as Jree gets them in.
And we see how risky it is for Fnatic to push further up than the river here, because again, they don't have enough deep wards in the jungle of Millennium to actually spot Creaton's stealth, except for the one ward here at the Wraith camp, hoping to either spot him out or Kottenx. But now, if they feel like they get a time to actually move up, get a few deeper wards, make it feel more confident moving forward, maybe try and set up a bait, turn everything around and get a kill onto Creaton or Kerp, and then use it to take the Baron. For now though, they played very smart, just backing away when they didn't have any vision, and Okay,
Smart, you say. Oh, Kottenx actually getting stunned up. This is surely a kill for xPeke. Ignite is down, and there is a shutdown coming in. Very nice.
Yeah, smart.
Kottenx,
I say smart. 1 for 1, both junglers down. Cyanide, all planned.
Yeah. Don't know.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that is in the grand scheme of
the thing is, he tried to do the thing we just talked about. He wanted to get inside or deeper inside Millennium jungle, get a few wards. They were just waiting for him. Instantly died. He doesn't have a lot of magic resistance at this point, so Kerp can really destroy him.
Look at this, Jree headed top side of the map as well. Will be spotted out by that Tribush ward though, so sOAZ not going to have any problems. And sadly for him, his vision runs out at exactly the wrong time for him to get that vision control back. Meanwhile, xPeke going to be recalling in the mid lane. See how much gold he's sat on. Actually sat on about 2,000 gold at this point, so that's a needlessly large rod. A second one picked up for him.
So he can get both the Banshee and the Outlast, unless of course he wants to go DFG with this large rod here and just full on focus on bursting whatever target even comes close to him. We've already seen he doesn't need the DFG to actually kill Kerp. At least not maybe 1 or 2 hits extra from someone else and he's dead already as long as they pop the Banshees first. But we need to see what he wants to do with the large rod, if it's going to be DFG or Outlast.
Well, DFG would give him that extra burst, but leaves him just as squishy as he is now. That Zhonya's may just come in handy. We talk about the mobility all the time of Syndra, as we are going to see him dive in towards YellOwStaR.
Oh,
the binding coming
again.
out, flashed away, but Millennium not able to get on there and get the killing blows. Meanwhile, xPeke and Rekkles coming in from around the side where the stun missing wide. Not going to offer any opportunities there for Fnatic. Close though.
So no flash on Twitch now, could be the target for Fnatic in this next team fight. Creaton once again though, moving in with the rest of the team, and it's always the same place Millennium stand with Twitch, and just stealth up and then move into the mid lane. Fnatic have learned the lesson, and they always back away.
Oh, Kerp dives in there, YellOwStaR goes low.
TP behind.
Can't finish him. Kevin's going to come in from the side, and Jree dives in as well. Solar Flare will lock them too, but Jree's gone far too deep, all on his own. And it was a good idea in theory, but in practice, he went horribly wrong for Millennium.
But again, give a cookie to sOAZ. He stops the TP from Kevin, coming behind Fnatic here and collapsing onto them. Once again, he's the guy. He stopped it with his ulti. His own TP is still ready, and they also got a kill.
Oh, Kerp trying to keep Fnatic busy from the lane side, but where are they going? Are they going Baron? Got a pink ward in there. Millennium got no vision of it.
Still risky. It's only the support being dead from Millennium. Remember, they're actually just baiting it. They want Millennium to face check them.
Oh, stun on towards Kevin, and Fnatic seeing that hit actually decided to go in towards him. Ultimate actually going to be used there by xPeke, but not doing much damage, and now he's stuck on the top side. Kevin going to rip through him, and that is 1 kill for nothing. Can they get any more here though? Kevin is going to move in. That was the mimic from Kerp, who went very, very low from that. We'll be recalling here. But a nice little pickup, but again, we see the problem with Syndra. No flash, you've got nothing to really help you survive.
I think we're a bit caught on different sides of the Baron Pit here. A few members were still around in the Dragon Pit, or Baron Pit actually. Other members had already jumped over. It's a bit of a split up fight for him, and the ulti was actually used from xPeke onto Kottenx just as he used his own ulti, so it blocked pretty much everything. He took no damage from it. Still though, Fnatic going with move up here. Be careful. I like this crowd. I really like this crowd.
Dragon is live as well. And we see Millennium starting out. Down to half HP. Are Fnatic going to have a go at it? I don't think they are. sOAZ is going to try for a cheeky steal off the side. Didn't quite work out for him that way. Millennium get themselves another Dragon. 5 out of 6. Doing fantastic on that front.
Yeah, every time they are the first one there, even the one they actually lost, there were 4 members around the Dragon. Cyanide managed to steal it. And just been controlling this Dragon area for the entire game. As always, staying around with all these pick champions here like the Twitch, the Evelyn and the LeBlanc to just catch out targets from Fnatic. So they never really want to move in and try and get some wards, and therefore Millennium just have full control of the whole thing. And picked up so much gold from these Dragons. Again, we have to remember it gives even more gold here in the late game parts.
More and more as you go on, and still though, only a 2,000 gold lead, so it's not a massive lead that Millennium have. Here's xPeke, good ward from him. Actually will be spotted out by Jree, and is going to have the vision to get rid of that. Which means they know that Millennium are there, but Fnatic have a problem in that they've got no wards down Baron. Someone's going to have to go and change that.
Let's see. YellOwStaR moving in, is putting the first ward to see who's around from Millennium here, of course. Very important bush in the middle where Kerp is waiting. Is the one that really wants to get warded, and Cyanide did.
Oh, going in onto him. The chain does land, but not quite enough to finish off. Enough to burst him down. It's YellOwStaR going to get dove on. Nope, not quite. Kevin can't get in there. Did get the slow down though. Meanwhile, Kottenx actually stalking through the enemy jungle. He's going to find Cyanide here by the big Wraith. Just going to smite that one away. Steals it right from under Cyanide's nose.
So Fnatic managed to actually get Millennium away from this choke point around the Baron where they had all the wards. Millennium though just going straight back in. They need to clear these two wards out and just try and do the exact same thing. Wait for Fnatic to come in and ward it. See if they can find a pick with Kerp. He's actually already positioning himself pretty much the same place as before. Pop the Banshee though. He needs to be a little bit careful now.
Nice black shield coming out from YellOwStaR though to stop that chain getting in the stun. Oh, sOAZ going to be caught a little bit out of position on this one, but tankiest man on the team doesn't lose too much health. There's a stun onto Kevin as well, but no follow-up again from Fnatic. And look at this, Kottenx trying to get around the back. He's going to be spotted by the pink wall. Then it's a big stun as the solar flare goes in. They go in for Cyanide, but he's able to safeguard away. Meanwhile, Kottenx now coming in from the side. Kevin is there as well. Big stuns again coming out from xPeke, and they're going to go for it. Creaton though gets the rampage here as they finish off Lee Sin. They can't keep chasing this one now, surely.
And this was not the right time for Fnatic to teamfight. A lot of their members, especially both xPeke and Rekkles, have over 1,700 gold. Oh, he popped, he died. But still, Corki and Syndra at this point, they have over 1,700 gold in the back here. They need to use it, go back and get some very important items. But because Millennium had all the pressure around Baron, they could never recall. They knew Millennium could just take the Baron in. So they were forced into a bad teamfight. Ended up in 2 kills for Millennium and the Baron.
Bad teamfight, Baron goes down. Millennium now having a stronger control. Still, just a 4,000 gold lead. Not a massive one still, as we see xPeke answering our question.
Went for the DFG.
Went for the DFG.
We really need to see if he can just blow up a target here, or if he's just going to die instantly in the fights. Personally, again, if you have very good positioning, if your flash is ready, DFG is just fine, because again, you can do so much damage. Rekkles, on the other hand, went for the Blade of the Ruined King actually here, so he wants to be able to try and survive a little bit by himself. He knows he could also be the target for Millennium to lock down.
Well, Kerp would definitely take that opportunity if you let him get close enough to Corki. That Valkyrie may be enough though to keep Rekkles safe. Look at this Kerp. Gonna come around and actually he's gonna find Rekkles! Wow, masses of damage again. Rekkles thinking he's safe, tucked away behind the corner. You're never safe from Kerp.
Never safe. There's a very good ward from Millennium down here. Fnatic now, they just need to hold off this Baron buff here. Should be about 2.5 minutes left on it. On the side of Millennium. As long as they can wave clear like this, it's gonna be fine. Still, very big wave on this top lane here. Millennium instantly moving towards it. Kevin, a bit behind, has teleport though. Same goes for Jree, without teleport though.
And I'm not sure they can stop this one. I don't think they're even gonna try. Actually, they are gonna try, but they're a little bit too late to that party. Creaton able to finish off the tower. Meanwhile, Kevin pushing down this middle lane as well. Fnatic torn between top lane and middle lane. Here we go again. Kerp around the side. Doesn't follow through though. Just been a constant pain for them really more than anything else. There we see a solar flare coming in. They're going to go for xPeke. He's still going to go down. Kevin gets that kill. They get away as well from YellOwStar's ultimate. That's 2 kills and the tower. I'm not sure they can hold the in-him tower.
And Millennium, they have so much engage and so much mobility to just get to the back down of Fnatic every single time. Again, this is between 2 towers. Don't even care. Just use Leona ult to start it. Kevin jumps in. Kerp jumps in. Creaton with the long range with his ulti from the backside. And of course, Kottenx is speeding himself up, joining in as well. Everyone from Millennium can just come in and do damage to the squishy members of Fnatic every time.
They cannot hold this turret. Look at that again. Kerp getting right up in YellOwStar's face. He's just come back in and already lost a big chunk of health. And there is the first inhibitor going down for Millennium. Are they going to have another go? Again, Kerp there, right at the very front, trying to keep Fnatic away from them. The wave's going to be pushed up by Creaton, and they're going to be knocking on the top side.
As long as this Banshee's up from Kerp, he can just keep jumping in. He doesn't even have to fear the stun or the binding. They need to pop it. There we go. The rocket from Rekkles. Now he needs to be a little bit careful. Still, Millennium just focusing on the towers. Very low already.
Almost getting that one down as well. Still not sure how Kerp manages to pull that kind of play off with a trackball.
Not sure either. Not sure either. He's definitely, I mean, in Champs League we actually said Ziggs was his most consistent champion. I think LeBlanc has to be up there with it. So many strong
It doesn't
on this
usually get to
champion.
play it, right?
Often banned away, very true, very true.
Oh, and here he is once again. Right, anything fall out on this wave. Pushing through, you see a little bit scared of getting involved on it, but Banshee's Veil's back up across the board. Maybe just one more minion wave will be enough here for Millennium to break that second tower.
Kevin also hit the point where he gets really annoying to deal with. Guardian Angel, his own passive of course. We have to kill him multiple times now, so he can buy so much time for the rest of Millennium. Even if they just want to run away, it's a bad fight, he can stay there, buy time for them. Kottenx getting out his ping ward here, opening up now for both him and Creaton to maybe try and sneak in behind Fnatic.
Well, keeping that out of sight. Millennium with 4 men on the top lane, trying to hold on to that inventory that's already so very, very low. There's Kerp just dashing in, single auto attack, and he can just do that over and over again. Eventually it's going to go down. Look at Kottenx still waiting there in that middle lane, maybe looking to jump on someone. Will he go for Rekkles? Not sure it's really a fight he wants to take, but he's probably going to open up that turret even if he just runs in there.
He's simply waiting for the tower to actually go down up here, and then if they want to fight, he can sneak in behind them without Fnatic expecting it and just full on engage. So they have their full focus on this lane, or these minions pushing down here, clear the minions, want to defend the tower for as long as possible. They wouldn't even think Kottenx is actually sitting behind them.
Finding land once Kevin Cyanide actually getting behind him, they've kicked Creaton in! Creaton's gonna go down, but it's a 1-for-1 up until now. There is the shutdown. sOAZ has to flash away. Kottenx coming in too late. Another binding from YellOwStaR will give them a second kill.
Such a great play by Cyanide, sacrificing himself just to kick Creaton back into the team. They knew there was no flash onto him. There we, of course, we got to see the DFG blowing Creaton up instantly with the rest of Fnatic.
What? Millennium
not done
still
yet.
want that tower. Still going to push that one down. A couple more auto attacks will do it, and it comes from Kerp in the end. So they lost the men, but they stuck around and finally
got the tower. Yeah, fighting so hard for this tower here.
19-12 kills, 6,500 gold lead here for Millennium. See there the gold difference basically coming from Peke's farm. 434 farm that he's racked up. We've also got the Baron coming up in 1.5 minutes as well.
So he's always been one of the best farmers, while Kerp, again, he's actually the mid laner in Europe with the lowest average CS per game. He gets all his gold from objectives and from kills. We're of course expecting now, we see it again. As long as you have a lot of farm, you will be ahead in gold here in this case. So he's doing a very good job farming up. He's been doing it throughout the entire game actually. Only a few times where he caught out in the mid lane. Otherwise he's been staying around farming and just always backing away.
A little bit too close there. Dragon cooking up for a while here, and Fnatic gonna go in for that one. A valuable prize, almost 50 minutes into this game. Definitely worth it coming out of the base. The question now is though, can they stop this Baron going over to Millennium?
We actually see as well on Syndra now, he sold his Negatron and decided to go for the Outlast now. So no, he needs it to survive all the bursts coming in. There's going to be a lot of damage on the side of xPeke here. He can really destroy everyone.
And has in fact just completed that Zhonya's Hourglass as well. So that's going to be ready for this next Baron fight. If there even is a Baron fight. We'll see what Fnatic are feeling about that scenario. Waves getting pushed in once again. Fnatic keeping that middle wave as far out as possible. The inhibitor has respawned in that one now. And look at this, Kerp waiting again, trying to catch someone out. There's the Q. Cyanide takes a bit of damage, but not really masses.
Baron is up here, sOAZ down his bottom lane. They can just start the Baron here and then disengage from it once the teleport comes in from sOAZ, just to force them away from this bot tower here. Unless Fnatic is moving way too slow, then Millennium can just pick out the Baron for free.
sOAZ, is he coming?
No, it's too late.
No.
Way too late. Fnatic, the rest of the team weren't even in position, so there was no reason for him to actually teleport there.
So sOAZ will be getting himself a turret here in that bottom lane, which is all well and good, but they lose the Baron now. That's going to mean more pressure onto them in these coming minutes. We've already seen that Millennium not scared of diving in between towers if they feel their engage is strong enough.
Still, they need to be careful now they don't get baited by this Outlast and just go all in once again onto xPeke and think, yeah, he's an easy target, we just lock him down. He outlasts and you waste so much focus and time on trying to kill him. Where Fnatic can then try and turn things around. So of course, one thing we also have to mention is AD carry-wise, Twitch late game compared to Corki is definitely heavily in favor of Millennium, and also one of the reasons they have been so strong. In the few actual team fights we had, it's been more about picks left and right, which was what we expected from Millennium's comp here. But also at this point, even team fight-wise, the Twitch is just such a strong pick.
Well, Millennium are now finally marching down this middle lane. Of course, he did respawn. But will Fnatic be able to defend it? Will they even try to defend this one? All it takes is one spot-on solar flare from Jree, and this game could be all over. We're over the 50-minute mark now as Kevin gonna jump away. Did get hit with the binding. We see a bit of apprehension, I think, from Millennium's side.
Playing a little bit careful. I mean, they did give up 2 kills in the last team fight. Still, they're Baron, and they're basically waiting for some poke to land first from Kerp. Need to be careful though. Kevin is taking quite some damage. So as we said, Guardian Angel and passive.
Yeah. Gotta kill him 3 times. Not exactly ideal. Kerp continues to be the annoyance. To the side, he's actually going to clear out both of those wards that were thrown over. YellOwStaR probably going to have another one to just throw straight in there in just a second. Meanwhile, the wave's finally coming back up, but what are Fnatic going to go for? Kerp actually diving over the top of the wall, and again, going for sOAZ, and just slowly but surely chipping away. Even on the tankiest, when you see that sOAZ, 1/3 of his HP gone like that.
Yeah, and the ult here from LeBlanc in the late game, such a short cooldown. It's already going to be ready in just a few seconds for him, so you can try and do the exact same thing. It is ready for him now, in case he wants to jump in again.
Showing himself there. Poke is going to be strong, and that long-range stun from xPeke could be a problem. Half health gone. That surely is a sign here for Millennium to move in. Good stun back from xPeke, but they can't hold this one. Inhib's going down.
Just a little bit of poke here, and they feel confident enough to move in, and Fnatic has to back away. Now they can try and do the exact same thing for the second inhib.
And Evelyn actually waiting off to the side. Once again, Cyanide going in. He's got a bit too deep, but actually gets away. Jree dives into the middle of them. Kevin will go in as well. They've killed xPeke. They're going to kill off Cyanide. That's a double kill for Creaton. There's another one coming in for Kerp. And this is going to be the game for Millennium. Only Rekkles and YellOwStaR left available to try and defend the base. You see them there, both sat on the Nexus itself, but can they hold it? I don't think so. 5 men from Millennium with here. And there we see instantly those turrets being shredded down. The first one will fall. Rekkles and YellOwStaR have all but backed away from this one. Millennium going to finish off the base and pick up a much needed win here over Fnatic.
Such a strong performance by Millennium. And such a difference in performance compared to yesterday against Rocket, where they were so passive. But this time around, Kerp had a good start, Creaton had a good start, the entire team just went with it and started finding picks left and right here and kept the gold lead going. And also we have to touch on the Dragons. Pretty much every single one was picked up by Millennium and just managed to extend the gold lead over and over. And then because there's so much engage onto an immobile mid laner from Fnatic, they could kill him so many times in these early team fights.
And we saw a very similar scenario, just to go back to the Dragons point there. We think back to the Gambit versus Alliance game, where Alliance were doing it all right, but took all those early towers, got a good few kills in there, but Gambit were able to hold on to the Dragons. And Millennium doing a very, very similar thing here. In fact, I think Fnatic only got 2 Dragons, one of which was a steal from Cyanide.
Exactly, and one was very late in the game after they picked up the 2 kills in the fight. They went for Dragon. So overall, it's just a very good performance by Millennium, showing exactly also how to play. With this Twitch here, we saw it was the same position in mid lane every time where he stands, stealths, moves in, sees is there anyone from Fnatic nearby. If there is, he pops out, does a lot of damage, forces a summoner, and they have to back away here. And overall, just a very, very strong performance by Millennium.
And this